Hey, just a couple notes on safety, care, and caution. This is very small, doesn't look intimidating, but do not touch it because it will hurt you, okay? Just keep your finger clear of it. It's not gonna kill you, but it will burn and it hurts. So you need to be very cautious of that. Don't ever hit that. Just be very, very careful. It'd be like taking your finger and putting it on an arc lighter. You wouldn't do that. So just be very careful of that. And also that this is pliable. These will move around. You can move them back and forth, but you wanna be careful with it. You don't, treat it delicately. It is made very well, but it's a prop, it's a tool, so treat it as such. You don't want to jam, when you're putting your business cards and things in there, make sure that you're not hitting these, okay? You want to put them in from this side and sort of walk it in. For example, I'm going to find the gap there, and then I'm just going to stick it behind there. Sometimes you'll end up smashing it into that. If you do that too often, you can ruin that device, so you don't want to do that, okay? Put it in from the side and then fold it down. And then, like I've touched on before, you're gonna have a slot for business cards here. You do not put dipped business cards in this side. The only place that the dipped lighter fluid business cards go, or bills or cards, playing cards, are in this sleeve. That's why there is a plastic sleeve on there. That plastic sleeve is gonna hold the lighter fluid so it doesn't get on the rest of your wallet. If you end up dipping a bunch of them and putting them in here, you're gonna stain all of this leather, and that's not the way to do it. The better way to do that is to bring your lighter fluid with you, bring your little cup, and load these as you need. Once they're dipped, then you put them into the plastic sleeve, okay? So it's some common sense stuff, but stuff I did want to touch on nonetheless. When you are not using it, when you're not intending to be pulling flaming cards out, then turn it off. Your on-off switch is here, and it says on and off, so just make sure it's turned off when it's not in use. That way you're not going to accidentally burn yourself, or maybe you push this down for so long that it stays on and you ruin your battery life and have to recharge. So those are just a few notes. A few other safety notes is, obviously this is fire, okay? Don't light this near anybody. You want to distance yourself from your group. So if somebody's within about 1.5 to 2 feet of you, back away, because this is a big thing of fire. And if you've got a woman who's got a bunch of hairspray in her hair, you have to be very, very cautious with this. Also, there's fire in your hand, so you have to be, you're going to hold it here. You don't want to hold the card like this because it's going to burn your hand. You hold it from the very tip and you let the flame go up. When it starts feeling too hot, blow it out. If it gets way too hot, blow it out. But again, make sure you have a good space around you. You don't want to be right up in somebody's face when you do this. So I always set my scene. They ask for a business card, I distance myself. I'll usually have the conversation with them, and then I'll take a step back, look on both sides to make sure nobody's directly behind me or directly to the side, and I have a nice 1.5 foot buffer. That's essential. If you're going to use this, make sure you've got at least a 1.5 foot buffer where nobody is around you, okay? And also, be very careful about where you perform this. Don't perform it directly under a smoke detector. Don't perform it next to something that can get caught. Don't perform it next to drapes or something like that. Be smart. Give yourself a big surface area and a nice radius of space. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory, but don't be a fool. You're pulling fire out of a business card, so be careful and be cautious, okay? So another sort of common sense note that I just want to touch on, if you're going to be traveling with this in your close-up case, always close this. So after you've loaded it, make sure it's very closed and it's got a safe place in your case. I know it feels like I'm overstressing the safety, but you're playing with fire here. You need to be very careful. You need to respect people's venues. You need to respect your performing area. I always err on the side of caution. I always talk to the event planner. I show them what I intend to do. If you just say, I want to pull flaming business cards out, is that okay? They're going to say no. But if you go up and say, hey, Adam, I'm here. Thanks so much for your time. I'm going to rock this place. It's going to be a great show. I want to just give you one business card so you have it in case you get busy. And boom. And then it bursts into flames. I blow it out and hand it to them. And then I judge them. If they act like you're an idiot, you shouldn't have done that, then I apologize and I ask, can I perform that to your spectators? more often than not, almost every single time, they go, oh my God, that was incredible. And then I just say, oh, cool, that's how I hand out my cards. I just wanted to make sure you're okay with that. And almost every time they're fine with it because they've just seen that it's controlled and that it's safe. But don't just assume. I've gone to some hotels where I was performing. It was a 200-year-old hotel that had very strict rules on fire. And if I was just going around doing this, I would look like a real jerk. So I went to the event planner before, I did this, and she very politely said, oh, that's really cool, but you cannot use fire in this hotel. And that was it. So know your environment, know where you are, and if you need to ask permission to do this first, then do so. Because you don't want to look like a jerk. Just because it's fun and it gets your attention on you, you are being hired for your services and your professionalism. And if it feels wrong, like you shouldn't be doing firework in there, ask first, okay? Hey, we're gonna talk a little bit about the loading of the business cards, how you're gonna get the lighter fluid on them properly so you don't overdo it and burn your fingers. And then also a way to store them at your gig if you don't wanna bring lighter fluid with you to your gig. So the one thing I wanna touch on is that when you're dipping these in the cup like I described, you don't want the lighter fluid to wick up any more than halfway of the card. If you leave it sitting in there too long, it'll actually wick to the entire card. The problem with that is if you use it that way and the entire card is wicked and the cards behind it are fully wicked, when you pull this out and ignite it, there's a good chance that you'll ignite this one as well. You don't want that to happen for obvious reasons. If it's only wicked halfway, which is the proper way to do so, when you pull it out, just this half will catch, and that's what you want. The other thing is, as you flip this and show the flame, the only part that is wicked is here and up, so you're not going to get any fire on your fingers. With gusts of wind and things like that, you might get some flame that goes around your fingers, so you need to be careful with this, and you don't want to over wick that, okay? The other thing is, once they are wicked and you've put maybe 5 or 10 in your wallet, but let's say you want to store some more for your gig, get a little plastic bag like this. So you wick them in and then you drop them into the plastic bag, and that's a way to transport them with lighter fluid wicked and ready to go. So once they're wicked and ready to go, you can put them in a plastic bag, and then at your event, instead of having to dip them again, you can just pull them out of the bag. Okay, so just to reiterate, you never want to put the lighter fluid any more than halfway up the card. Okay, that's going to be an important safety feature, that you don't put too much fluid on where it starts burning you. And then to transport them, find yourself a little plastic bag, and this is a great way to have a bunch of them wicked and ready to go without having to go to your case and use lighter fluid at an event. Hey everybody, Adam Wilbur here with The Illusionist, and I am very excited to share with you the Pyro wallet. We're going to show you what you get in the kit, and as you know, at Illusionist we go above and beyond, especially if we put the Pyro name to something. It means the world to me, and I take it very seriously. I am a worker, I am out there doing things all the time to real people, and I have a very strict guideline of what I can accept to put into my pocket to carry with me all the time. This exceeds every single one of those guidelines. We worked very, very hard on some special features of this, which will put it light years ahead of any other kind of wallet that would even resemble what this can do. I'm going to go into some of those features right now because I'm extremely proud of them. First and foremost, it needs to be a practical wallet. It needs to be something that I can carry around with me and not have headaches. That being said, most of the wallets on the market, when you put business cards in them, they flop open. They're too fat and they don't stick together. So we put very high magnets, very high powered magnets in them to make sure they stay shut. It seems like a little thing, but when you're performing at a high-end event, you don't want to pull out a flimsy wallet and have it being all over the place. So there's a wallet magnet to make sure that's going to stay shut. Another feature that took a lot of engineering to get right was the thinness of this battery component. See, what makes this spark ignite is an arc here. Let me turn this on so you can see it. See that little blue flame? That's an electrical arc. So you're not using lighter fluid as the old wallets were with a lighter that would run out. This is actually battery powered arc. And that whole battery mechanism fits in this slim little component here. And that took a lot of trial and error because, again, you want this to be a very slim and practical wallet. The other benefit of this being an arc here is that it's going to ignite your business card or your bill or your playing card every single time. There's no noise. Some of the other items that were similar to this were very loud and clunky, and I'd used them. They were great, but they didn't work. About 50% of the time when you pulled your business card out, it wouldn't catch on fire, and you would hear this click, click. Now, people aren't stupid. What I wanted this to be was pull a wallet out, and all they see is you're pulling a business card out and it catches on fire with no funny movements of your hands and nothing odd happening. And that's exactly what this is going to allow you to do. Again, I have a name as the worker because I'm genuinely out there doing magic all the time to regular people. And this is one of the things that is with me 24 hours a day. If I'm ever handing out a business card, it's with this. As a magician or as an entertainer, it's inherent that you should be handing out your credentials in a way that is different, that's unique, that's going to get you attention. This goes above and beyond that. When you pull a business card out with a 3-foot ball of flame on it, blow it out and hand it to them, you're very soon going to see the kind of reactions it gets. So this has been streamlined, it's been very, very well thought out, and every single part of it is exactly how I wanted it to be. So it did take over 2 years to develop this. So what we've got now is, I'll give you a business card. Boom. And it's that simple. So this is the Pyro wallet. We're going to get into all the workings of it, how exactly you maintain it, how you can care for it, all the safety features, and all of the fun things that you can do besides just handing out your business card in a 3-foot ball of flame. Let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about how this works. First, what you get in the kit. Well, you get the wallet, and then you get a charger, okay? I'm going to show you how to charge this very easily. You'll see right here is your on-off switch, and right in the leather there it also says on-off, so you know which way is up and down, which way is on and which way is off. This is just a USB, goes right into here. The other end is going to go right in there. Pretty standard stuff. You're going to plug that in, let that charge up, and that will hold a nice good charge. So that's it. Plug that into the wall, let it charge, you're good to go. Once it's charged, unplug it. I always leave this in the off position, and you're set to go. Now it's charged, okay? So how do you get it to burst into flame? Well, let's start with business cards. What you're going to need is a small cup. A coffee mug will work fine. Whatever items that you would like to burst into flame. Business cards here for me. And Ronsonol lighter fluid, your basic standard lighter fluid, okay? So some words of caution here. Obviously, this is an 18 and over prop. This is using fire and lighter fluid, and you need to be very responsible and very safe with this. While this is a prop, this is not a toy, and don't be an idiot. This is lighter fluid, which is extremely flammable. It can be extremely dangerous, so please do your diligence in being safe and smart about this. You're going to take a cup and some lighter fluid. I'll show you about how much I put in. About that much, okay? So there's going to be about 1/8 of an inch of lighter fluid on the bottom, all right? Now what you'll notice here, in this, there's a little plastic sleeve behind the arc mechanism, the fire arc mechanism. That sleeve is where the cards that are dipped in lighter fluid are going to go. That way it doesn't drip down and get all over the unit and the mechanism. That's just a plastic sleeve to hold the soaked business cards or bills or whatever you're going to use. So for these, there's obviously a lot of different size business cards, so that's going to determine how long you soak them and how long you have for them to sit in the wallet before that lighter fluid dries up, okay? These are extremely thin business cards. So for this, I'm going to use 5 business cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just for demonstration purposes. You take the 5 business cards, And you want to spread them out a little bit so they're not just stuck together, because you want to make sure all of them get the same amount of lighter fluid on them. Okay, so 5 business cards just sort of spread out like that. And then I'm just going to quite literally dip them in place, and I hold them. And now what's going to happen is that lighter fluid is going to wick up the cards. Okay, it's going to soak into the business cards and start wicking upward. You let that sit in here. I usually go for about 30 seconds to a minute. And again, you're going to experiment with this for a little bit. You're going to see how long and how much lighter fluid you want. Excuse me, one second. And then as you'll notice, I just put them all together, and then I'm just going to let them sit in there for a minute like that. And then you'll play around with this to see, because basically what's going to happen is that's going to soak the lighter fluid. You're going to put them in here, and then every time you pull one out, the residual lighter fluid that's still on there is what's catching and igniting. So depending on the thickness of your card, how long it's been soaked, things of that nature, that will determine how long it can stay in your wallet and still be lit. Now normally what I'll do is right when I get to a gig, I'll have my lighter fluid and my cards. I'll dip them right before I start performing, and then I'll have maybe once throughout the night. If I do this a ton of times, will I refill and do it again. So I actually have my lighter fluid in my walk around case with me, and then I have a smaller version of this that I can dip, okay? So that's been in there probably long enough. So we're just gonna take all 5, let that sort of drip off, and then you're gonna put it right into the plastic sleeve, all 5 of them. So they go right in there, just like so, okay? This is going to be turned on. Get rid of the lighter fluid, put that aside. And now what's going to happen is as I pull one of these cards out, you want to make sure you get one and only one. As I pull it out, I'm going to hit this button. Yeah, you know, exactly. So these are special cards. These are called the disappearing ink cards. They're made with thermochromatic ink. So an added bonus on that is if you get these cards printed, well, I'll show you what it looks like. Before I do that, I want to go over some safety features. You don't obviously ever want to get all of these caught, right? So if you pulled all of these out and this gets caught, that could be problematic. So when you pull one business card out, you want to make sure that it's distant enough. Normally what I'm going to do is pull it so it's far enough away from the other ones that it won't catch those on fire, okay? You don't ever want to pull like this and have a bunch, because now you're going to have a huge ball of flames that you're going to have to throw into a sink. So be smart with this. Pull one out, clear it from the rest, and then as I get it out to here, that's when I ignite it, when it's just the tip, the corner there, okay? But watch what this does. This is really neat. So somebody asks me for a business card. Yes, I do have a business card. I pull it out. I hit the flame. Oh, shit. Oh, you know what? This is embarrassing. These are the ones I forgot to print. Oh, that's embarrassing. So they see a blank card, and then I place that on the table and talk for a minute. Now, the nice thing about the thermochromatic ink is that once that heat subsides and it becomes room temperature again, the card prints itself. So they just saw a fully blank card, and the next time they look at it, they notice it starts printing. And then you can wave it and it'll come into. So that's just a really great added feature that you can do with thermochromatic ink printing business cards. We'll put a link on where you can buy these. You can buy yourself some, but there's absolutely no need for you to do that. I just really like handing out cards that way. These can be any sort of business cards, doesn't have to be that. They can be much thicker cards as well. Obviously, if they're thicker cards, you're not going to get quite as many in there. So I would usually put the rest of my business cards on this side, and then every time I needed to refill and put new lighter fluid, I would go to the case, dip it really quickly, and have it. So one more time, come out like this. Grab one card, make sure it's just one, and don't worry about if you're fumbling around. You may feel a little guilty because you know what's about to happen. But look, ask me for a business card. Sure, I'll give you one. Shoot, I'm gonna get one out here. That looks totally normal. If somebody has business cards, you're trying to just get one out. Don't get in your own head and go, oh, they're going to know I'm about to light it. You do want to take the time to make sure you get one card. Once you get that one out, it's pretty great. So that's the business card. Okay, that's a very easy way to hand out your business cards in a burst of flame. A few other options. Let me just light both of these, just because it's so much fun. And that's the other thing, is you're going to be sitting at home probably lighting more of these than handing out, because it really is that much fun. So those are the business cards. Another really, really fun thing that you can do is money. So let's say you want to go buy something. You have a crush on the clerk at your local convenience store, and you want to impress her, okay? So you go in to buy some gum. You're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to put some lighter fluid in the cup. Okay? Fold the bill so it's small enough that it'll fit in there, and dip the bill. Okay, so let that soak. Now for the bills, you might want to let them soak for a little bit longer, and I always just recommend doing one bill so you don't have a bunch in there, but you'll see how cool this looks as well. Let's say you're paying for some gum at a convenience store. Same idea. Now that didn't soak for quite as long as you would let it, but for demonstration we'll show you this. Obviously I'm just tapping this on the side to make sure any of the drip lighter fluid is dripping in there and not dripping on the wallet. So that's going to go right in the sleeve as well. Oh, hold on, this bill has a cut in it, so I'm trying to get it in the sleeve. Okay. So same exact idea. This time the bill is going to stick out a little bit, because if you push it all the way down, it's going to be so far down that you can't get your fingers in there. So I just leave it sticking out a bit. And now you've got, oh, how much is that, sir?
$5, please, sir.
Perfect, I have just that. Oh, wait. As they say, it's been burning a hole in my pocket. And that's just a really awesome way to hand out some money. So same exact idea, you're going to fold it, soak it, and then because the bill's not quite as firm as that, you have to open the plastic just a bit and get one corner in and push it in, but same exact idea. So you can do it with bills, you can do it with business cards, and then you can also do it with playing cards. And the playing cards are pretty interesting, depending on the playing card that you use. Actually, let's show you that right now. So here's a really fun one that we're not really sure why it works, but it looks awesome. Dip a playing card. Okay, these are cohorts. These are our cohorts. I wasn't a big fan of them until I picked them up, held them, and played with them. They're incredible. So as we were jamming here, we did this. We dipped one, we folded it in half and dipped it. It's like built-in fireworks show. We're not quite sure. Now, the longer you dip this, the more of this sort of firework explosion you get. And dip it here and let it sit for about 5 minutes. When you pull that out, it shoots little fireworks both out the top and bottom. We're not quite sure why it works, but it looks awesome. So let's say you force a card, that card disappears from the deck, and you have a duplicate in your Pyro wallet. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the card, but for some reason, they use little firework displays that we're unsure of why it works, but it looks really cool. So my advice is to take one, playing card, fold it this way, and then you're going to let it sit just as you would before, but I just let that sit. Let that sit for maybe 3-4 minutes, because the playing card has that wax coating on it. It's not going to absorb absorb the lighter fluid as much as a paper business card would, or even a paper bill. So you maybe let this sit a little bit longer, let that lighter fluid wick up into the card, and when you let that come out, just hold it, and you'll see it does some really interesting kind of trippy things on its own. So that's another fun idea for you to use. One subtle kind of tip, I guess, on pulling the business card out, but it makes a big difference, is when you pull it out to here, and then pause for a moment as you address them. Oh, well, if I give you this card, it does sort of contractually obligate you to call me later. Let me show you. Right? So just that pause of them seeing it out, and the way I'm pausing is quite literally just pulling it out to there and kicking it out. But at this moment, actually probably even better like this, where they can see the ink. At this moment, they go, yeah, it's a business card like I've seen 100 million times in my life. As opposed to just quickly poof, fire. You're letting them register. What's he doing? He is pulling out a business card, and then it sits there for a second. Address them for just a second, and then follow through with the flame. So it's a very subtle thing, but it really does enhance the illusion and the effect and really the impact of what's about to happen to them.
And who gave you that idea?
That was something I came up with on my own. Thank you very much.
Never get any credit.
Damn right, damn right. So yes, I have noticed when handing out a business card to somebody, it is inherently, I force this on them. I don't let them ask me for a business card.
Force what?
Them getting a business card. I finish my set and I say to them, well, you know, as a magician, I have to shamelessly plug my services to you, but I have to do it in the coolest way possible. Let me show you how I do that. And then I just pull this out and I've set them up. Hey, I'm going to give you a card in a cool way. So they don't know what to expect. And the moment this comes out in a burst of flame, yes, everybody in that circle then goes, can I have one? Can I have one? Oh my God, that was crazy. So you're handing out a bunch of cards. I can't say for sure that I've gotten gigs directly related to that, but it wouldn't surprise me. You know, it is.
It makes a hell of an impression.
It does. And it's also, you're at an event, the coordinator or whoever's paying your bill is there. And if they see at different parts of the room, people going, ah, and this big thing of fire, inherently they're going, yeah, the guy entertained the entire crowd.
Right.
He was doing things with fire.
Something visual that anyone from anywhere in the
From
room.
across the room, exactly. And then people backing up. And, you know, you're getting people to say, can I have one too? If you just hand out a card, most people won't say, oh, can I have one too, unless they really want your service. But if you hand out a flaming card, people want to see that again. So, oh, can I have one too? Can I have one too? And then you hand out a bunch. So, you know, people say business cards are dead nowadays. That's just not true. The business cards aren't, yes, you can be in contact through LinkedIn and all these other places, but the reality is you want people to remember you. Yeah, so have I gotten any big gigs and how many times do I get calls directly from my business cards? Well, I would say my TEDx talk was from a flaming business card handout. I can't say for certain that that's why they called, but they called because they had my business card. I know that because he hadn't seen my website. You know, if he was at my website, maybe I'd think he got my number from there, but he didn't. He called and said, oh, let me check out your website after. So that's the biggest speech I've ever done came from it. And then I know for a fact I do charity work at a hospital, and one of the doctors at the hospital I did the flaming business card for. And he liked it so much he hired me for his family party. Yeah, I think people say it all the time. People say business cards are dead, and it's
Because of the web.
and technology, sure. You can argue you don't need a business card anymore because it's so easy to give somebody your contact information. And that's fine. But as a magician, as a service provider, I think being able to give somebody something that they can later, if I give you my name and number and you put it in your phone, that's great. It's going to be lost in there with everybody else. But if I give you my business card and you're at home after the event with your wife or your husband and you're going, man, that was fun, and you're emptying your pockets and go, oh, shoot, that's that magician guy. Yeah, we got to call this guy. He was great.
Or it's going to sit on the dresser.
Or it'll sit somewhere that they'll see it again, right? And every time they see it, especially if it bursts into a ball of flame, they have that memory tied with it. So, you know, to me as an entertainer, you should have business cards. So what's the next evolution of that? Have a way to hand it out to people that gets attention.
How often do you get asked for business cards?
At the end of every set.
What if you don't have it? So many people don't have it. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, put my number in your phone.
They shouldn't be.
And then you're
They
lost.
shouldn't be a professional magician. I mean, if
How
you
many times do you get asked?
every single strolling set.
Question.
Yeah. So the question is, how many times do I get asked for a business card? In strolling magic, at least 90% of your group. So if you have 5 to 7 people, you do your 5 to 7 minutes. Almost every single time, I'm asked for a business card after that. And to be honest, even when I'm not, they're getting a business card because I close my set with this. And even if I have to shamelessly say, oh, this is how I feed my kids, which means I have to give you guys a business card, I'm fine doing that because I'm making it a magic trick. I'm not just handing them cards. They know that there's a trick involved with it. So I'm asked almost every single time I perform for a business card, and even if I'm not asked, I'm still going to give them a business card, but in a way like they've never seen before.
It's the visual.
It's fun, and it's a fun surprise. You know, you're surprising them in a fun, safe way. It's just enjoyable. You know, there's something about fire, controlled fire, that's an enjoyable thing. You know, there's something magical about it.
Sorry, a lot of people will tend to just put a business card, just tuck it in a wallet or just put it, and a lot of the time just end up throwing it in the bin. You hand them one with, you know, like a 3-foot flame coming off it, they're going to keep that card.
Yeah, I would say probably a better chance that they would keep it because it has a visual memory tied to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that there's an old gag that you take your business card and you put a hole in it, just a hole punch. And the gag is that you'd say to somebody, so this has a hole in it, let's say, and you have a penny and say, I'll bet you I can push this penny through the hole without making the hole bigger or you know, hurting the hole. No, you can't. And then you put the penny on the ground and this on top and you push the penny through the hole. So you push it on the table. And it's a clever thing because you can now say to them, oh, show this to your friends. So now they're using your business card. And that's cute, you know, and I like that idea of having a business card that does something that they can do. So while this burst of flame doesn't accomplish that, I don't really believe a lot of people are taking someone else's business card to show it off. You pull it out and there's a huge flame and you blow it out, and as you give it to them, go, you know, I do want you to call me. Just be very careful with that because it's likely to go up at any moment. I can't control it. So now they're looking at this piece of paper like, is he serious? You know, should I not put this in my wallet? I think that's a clever way to sort of, not sting them, but say, hey, just be careful with that. You know, you better call me quick because that could go up at any moment.
Yeah.
You know, I like that.
Oh, well, I just do it off my phone.
Then you're an idiot.
Really?
You're not a real pro.
They're going to lose that in New York Minute.
And it's just not professional. You don't say, oh, do you have your contact info? Sure.
People
if you're
still
talking to
expect
the vice president,
solid. Exactly.
of course. Like you go to
In
the vice
corporate?
president of HR and going, oh, just put my number in your phone.
Ooh.
You're out of your fucking mind. So on this topic of business cards and technology and who needs a business card anymore, think about this. If you're at a corporate event and the vice president of HR or the CEO of that event walks up and says, hey, do you have a business card? And your response is, no, just take my number in your phone. It doesn't work. You can't do that. No CEO or VP of HR is going to put your number in their personal cell phone. That's not the way business works. Better yet, that same person comes up and says, do you have a business card? And without blinking an eye, you say, of course I do, I'm a professional. And you pull out a business card that's burst into a ball of flames, casually blow it out and hand it to them. I can pretty much guarantee you are going to be the #1 thing they remember for the night. And if that isn't the best thing, I don't know what is. So this idea of...
Those are the high-paying ones that ask you for the business card.
That's right. Yeah, the ones that matter are the ones that are the high-paying ones that they're not going to just give you their phone to put your information. And they're sure as hell not going to let you, oh, give me your number and I'll call you back. That's not how these people work. They're very busy and they're very selective of who they're giving their personal information to. What do you want? You want to be remembered by this person. What better way than pulling a business card on fire out? And I know that personally because it works for me. So now it can work for you. Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I do have one last request for you. Get out there, use your Pyro wallet all the time. And when you do meet that barista and you have your first kid with her, do me a favor. Name it after me, even if it's a girl. Hey there, it's Adam Wilbur. I want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for purchasing Pyro wallet. I hope you get as much use and fun out of this as I have. This is one of those things that if you want to be the center of attention and you want to walk into a room without a lot of work but have all eyes on you, that's what Pyro wallet is all about. I'm telling you, when you pull out a business card or a dollar bill and that burst of flame hits, everybody in the room is going to go, what the heck was that? They're going to come over and ask you to see it again, so be prepared. What I'd like to talk about quickly is the history and the credits of this device. I'm doing this by choice as to not mention the name of the original creator. Some horrible, poor life choices landed him in prison, which is where he is now. We're going to leave it at that. If you want to do your diligence or you have any questions that you want to dive in further, shoot me an email directly, adam@illusionist.com. But for personal reasons for myself and the guys at Team E, we don't want to mention the name of the creator. We'll leave it at that. The original idea was created in about 2007 of a flaming business card out of a wallet. It had then evolved, and the best one to date on the market is called Burning Connection 2.0 by a great magician and creator, Andy Amyx. I don't want to butcher his last name. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Amyx is A-M-Y-X. Now, Andy has a ton of material out on the market, a lot of dove work, a lot of really cool, innovative magic, and he put Burning Connection out about 10 years ago. That's an electronic version of this. Now, it is different. This has got some ergonomic updates that I wanted to see for my personal use, as well as just some technology advancements over the course of 10 years. So, button placement, the heating coil, there's a lot of differences between Burning Connection 2.0 and Pyro Wallet. I have spoken to Andy at length about this. His effect is amazing. It is still on the market. This is just, like I said, an advanced version of things that I wanted to see in a wallet if I was going to use it every single day. And that's what Pyro Wallet is. It's the most technologically advanced version of a flaming business card wallet on the market. There are also a handful of really junky knockoff versions of flaming business card wallets, things you can get for $1 up to $5, just very horrible, cheap versions. Like I said, the real credit that I want to give is for Burning Connection 2.0 to Andy. Great device. It's been on the market for a long time, and this is an evolution of that. It uses a lot more advanced technology, and I've also placed the internals exactly where I want them, so it would look like you do nothing more than come here, pull a business card out of your wallet, and it catches on fire. That was the whole goal of going with the Pyro wallet and updating what is currently available. So that is a brief history of where Pyro wallet comes from and the credits that we feel are deserved, and like I said, the ones that we choose not to mention. So thanks again for your purchase. I hope you get the enjoyment that I have out of Pyro wallet. Get out there and start performing it. Hey everybody, Adam Wilbur here, inventor of Pyro Wallet. I wanted to first and foremost say thank you. I hope you enjoy the product as much as I have enjoyed it over the last year or so, and I hope you get a lot of daily use out of it. This is my daily carry when I'm at this point begging people to ask for a business card so I can pull this out. So with that said, I wanted to touch on a few different things, kind of bonus ideas that you can do with the Pyro wallet. There are a few features in here that you can take advantage of, and mainly the magnet, the magnetic closing mechanism. First and foremost, if you put this in your back pocket and you want to use it as a holdout, if it's sticking in your back pocket with the magnet side out, and the magnet side is the non-electronic side. There's a magnet right here, and that allows it to close and stay closed, but it'll also allow you to ditch items as you need it. So we'll just use a PK ring to demonstrate. So if this is stuck in my back pocket and I do some sort of false transfer and they think that the coin or whatever is magnetic is going to vanish here, as my hand drops down to my side, I would just ditch this off on my back pocket. So it works as a holdout, really. You've got a magnetic holdout in your back pocket at any time. So when you come over, do your false transfer and let your hand normally just touch the back pocket, just in a downward motion like this, you now can come back and show both hands empty, and then as soon as you want to retrieve that item, you can draw attention here, and as you do, your hand will come back, steal this off of the wallet again, and now you're back. So again, this is just a cool way to have a holdout built into an already cool device. So that's one thing you can do with it. Another thing is, imagine Angle Z by Daniel Madison. That's where you tear a corner off a selected card, the corner disappears, and it ends up in an impossible location. You can do somewhat of a variation of that. What you're going to do is you're going to cut a corner off of a card, and then you're going to proceed with Angle Z. But instead of false tearing the corner, once you false tear it, you'll push this one into view, okay? So you've got this corner. Now, what you're going to do is show the corner here and say, look, we'll just have the corner vanish. All I have to do is wave like this, and it'll go. It'll disappear completely. And then as you open the wallet to do your business card reveal, when you pull this out and it's on fire, once I blow it out, they can show that there's a stencil, a burned-in stencil of the 6 of diamonds, okay? So it's a really cool way to incorporate the fire from Pyro wallet into an effect itself. And all I've done is taken a corner, all right, and then I've put a magnet on the back. Now what you do want to do is make sure that that magnet's going to line up in the same polarization that it needs to stick on the wallet. But then I've just drawn black all over top of it, and now when I come to wave over this, they see the cover, they see the card, and then when I wave, you can quickly flash that it's gone. Okay, now it is a little shiny, and if they look really close, they'll see it. But the idea would be that they see the corner, you say, watch, I just wave my wallet over, and it looks like the corner disappears. It doesn't actually Now, as you open it, my hand is here covering. So they see the entire back of the wallet, which looks fair. And then as I go to pull the card out, I can tilt it down a little just to cover, or I can steal this off completely as I pull the card out, okay? Now to get the stencil on there, all you're gonna do is make a little stencil out of another 6. I'll hold it on that so you can see it. But I just took a 6 and I took some tweezers and a knife and I cut that out. So that allows you to tape this onto the card, and once it's taped on, take a lighter and burn it. And now you've got a really cool reveal of an Angle Z type effect using the magnet in the wallet. Now, one other cool thing you can do, I haven't done this a lot, but it is a nice little feature, is to show the King of Spades. So we watch King of Spades, and then I can show the wallet again, come over, wave over the king, and it'll look like it disappears. You can flash quickly, and it, not disappears, changes to another card. So this is really simple. All I've done is black arted the back of the King of Spades, and I put a magnet inside of it. Okay, so I took 2 cards together, taped a magnet onto the King of Spades, in line with where I would need that to steal off, okay? So I just took the King of Spades, placed it on the wallet, and then stuck a magnet. Where the magnet sticks, I then taped it, and then took another card and taped that to the King of Spades. So it's a normal card, magnet, King of Spades, and then I drew black art. Just a big fat Sharpie, okay? Made that black. So now what you've got is this really cool way of showing with one cover card, so that's the card that it's gonna turn into. So this is essentially a double, really it's a triple. You can show it as 1, okay? And then you're gonna come over and show the wallet. Again, I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing it with the right side, the pocket side, the business card pocket side. And then the magnet is here. I know where the magnet is on the card, and I know where the magnet is in the wallet. So I just make sure that's lined up right. And then you get this really pretty visual of just a tap, and it looks like the card changes. You can show this card freely, and then if you need to, you can flash the wallet. You don't want to flash it this way, but basically what you would do is come over, flash it like this. And you want to do that quickly because there is a little lip here. Again, this isn't something I've done a lot of, but hey, get your ideas flowing, and if this works for you, I'd love to see any kind of cool routines you come up with it. But there is a nice little visual to show the card front and back. Show it like this, the king, and then show the wallet, give it a tap, and it looks like the king changes completely. And if you needed to, you would flash that and be done. So just a few added bonus ideas. The point is to really start thinking about what can you do with this magnet? What can you do with some black art principles? There are some no card to wallet palming things that you could do as well. So just get creative with it. And that's the main idea. I want you to know that there is more to this than just a flaming business card. And you just have to use a little bit of creativity to see what you can come up with. With that said, I would also love to ask a favor of everybody who's bought Pyro Wallet. If you enjoy it, if you're having a good time with it, it means the world to me if you can drop a review on the product page. So all you have to do is go to Illusionist, the product page. If you've bought it, there'll be a place where you can add your review, and I'd love to hear your feedback. It really does help me with garnishing more sales, of course, but also to hear the feedback from the community when people tell me that they're using and enjoying the products I invent. That's why I do what I do. So if you have a moment and you're enjoying the product, I would love for you to jump on the illusionist.com website, go to the product page, and drop a review on there. This is Adam Wilbur signing off. I just wanted to say thank you again for your support of the Pyro line. And if you haven't checked out the other items in the line, we've got the Pyro pen, which is a functional working Sharpie that shoots fireballs, and we've also got Pyro Mini, which is the originator, where you can show your hands empty and shoot fireballs from your empty hands. So check those out if you haven't, and once again, thanks so much.